Say, you know what? No worries. All right, rock stars. So we shall begin. Let me share my screen. Some people will be popping up a little bit later. Here. All right, guys. So welcome to the first webinar of 2024. My name is Coach D. Before we begin, I'm going to be giving you guys some insight on how busy dads can ditch the gut, transform their bodies and lives without fasting, cutting carbs, or most importantly, cutting out family time. Because that's obviously, I think, most important that a lot of people want to focus on. I'm just going to double check if no one else is in the room. I cannot hear anything. Hit the join audio. Thanks, Chris. You're the best. If everyone can do me a favor, just drop a 1 if you can hear me, and drop a 2 if you can't hear me. Beautiful. Okay, so far we got a bunch of 1s. We're rocking. So really quickly, the format, 45 minutes of the seminar or the webinar. We're going to go through a 10-minute Q&A at the end. This is a Spartan tribe mindset and mentality. So as you can see in the little picture in the corner, everyone's got the shields ready to go. If there's something you want to mention or talk about and you kind of feel like you don't want to say something in front of people that they may think of you differently, don't worry, because we're all a Spartan team here. If you have any questions, I know there's a raise hand option here you can click on. But if not, just unmute yourself and say, I got a question to ask you. Perfect. Elliot's popping in here. And then for those of you who stay to the end, I got 2 really good resources that I think are going to help you out. So the objective tonight is to motivate, educate, and empower you guys all to know what's possible if you truly want it. Just to kind of get to know you guys, where you're from. If you can, obviously I know your names, but if you can drop in 1 in the chat, how many kids you got, so I can know that. How many kids you got? If you don't got any kids, that's cool. No worries. And drop a 1 if you feel it's been hard to start a fitness program. Drop a 2 if you feel that you've already been doing so and you're kind of on a rate. 4 kids. Jim's a beast. Jerry's got 2 kids. Beautiful. 1 kid. Partiman. Don't worry, Partiman. We're going to find you a female this evening and we're going to get you hooked up. All good. 2 teen boys. Nice. 2, 2, 2. Looks like 2 is the magic number, eh? Awesome. Okay, so most of you guys are training as well. In a perfect world, how many days would you want to exercise? Drop the number in the chat, guys. In a perfect world. My perfect world would be 6 days. I go 3 days on, I take 1 day off. I go 3 days on. 4 to 5, yes. 5 to 7. 3 days. Bravo, Fernando. 4 to 5 days. Nice. Jimmy's in the house. 4 to 5. So it seems like everybody's wanting to do a good 4 to 5 days of the week. And obviously, Partiman's got Partiman. How about you, Partiman? We didn't hear from you. How many days a week you want to work out, brother? He's going to answer us there. 5. All right. Okay, you're a beast. So let's move through. So drop a yes or no if you're trying to lose weight in the chat. And if so, how much? Drop some pounds. We want to drop some pounds here, baby. I want to get some cool stats up. Not yet. 25. Nice. 10. 25. 15. Sweet. Okay. Love that. Here's a quick little stat just to kind of get people energized up. 15 to 20. Bravo. So according to a study, the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, they found out that men often gain weight steadily around 30. Okay, I don't know if it's 30 is the right name. Continue to 55. Throughout a man's life, excess weight tends to be carried in belly fat. We all know that belly fat is the hardest one to drop down. And my job today is going to be to show you guys that you can crush it. But most adult men gain between 1 to 2 pounds each year, from 40 to 60. So that could be from 40 to 60 pounds, between 20 to 40, right? And if you look at the bottom graph in the bottom there, it shows, from 185 from age 20, an average growth up and down, okay? Next question. So how many diets or how many times have you tried to lose weight in the past? Just drop a number. If you've tried with a personal trainer twice, if you've tried 3 diets in the past, doesn't really matter. All I want to do is try to get a little example of what you guys have tried in the past and if there's been any changes. 3 at least. None. Minus COVID weight. Yes, brother. We're going to drop the COVID weight. Don't worry. Chris, 3. Beautiful. Jerry, 1. Sanel, none. Bravo. So here's an interesting fact. And this I actually got today because I was looking at trying to find some cool facts for you guys. So this is from Psychology Today. Shocking stats. A recent survey on dieting indicated that people try on average 162 diets over the course of their lifetimes. This is 2 diets a year on average, okay? And if you look at it, 10% admitted to usually trying their current favorite celebrity go-to diets. Worst thing you can ever do. People quit diets after 6 days. That's stats on it. Chocolate, bread, pasta, the top foods people didn't want to stop eating. I tell guys when they're starting a program with me that there should be no reason why you can't have chocolate, you can't have bread, especially Italian bread, baguettes, because my wife's Italian and I'm Greek, so we love carbs, right? Let's be reasonable here. People admitted experiencing fatigue, 21%, weakness, 29%, headaches, result of dieting. Yes, because you're restricting food from your body's natural mechanism. And when you're restricting food, your BMR drops down, your energy drops down, your mindset. If I tell you guys, if you buy a Tesla and you walk outside, what are you going to see every day? You're going to see Teslas because you actually bought one, you're paying attention to one. So when you start dieting and say, okay, honey, I'm going to start dieting as of Monday. It's the worst thing to do because all you're doing is telling yourself that you're going to restrict yourself from eating, then you're going to fail. We do not want to do that. We want to teach you guys how to eat and exercise based on body type. So it's long-term. So that way, if you want to have a bag of chips tonight and you started your program 2 weeks ago, no worries. You add your bag of chips in at a certain time of the day, it's not going to be an issue. Last question. So drop a number of how many diets or how many times you've tried to lose weight in the past. So this is like you tried a diet, didn't work, tried another one, didn't work. Let's see some answers here. How many diets have you tried in the past in terms of trying to drop weight? 5 times, okay? Check out this stat I got today, okay? And this is pretty trippy, and they actually named it, converted to the Nike swoosh. So despite what they advertise, all weight loss diets result in researchers call the Nike swoosh of weight loss, which means short-term loss followed by weight regain to pre-diet weight gain within a few years and approximately going 10 to 15% higher over 5 years, okay? Jerry says, sorry, correcting, 2 times, legit, attaboy. But what's important here to recognize is, like, check it out, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, when you're following a bloody diet, all you're doing is you're telling yourself, I'm going to restrict shit from my lifestyle. It's just like your wife saying to you, you can't go having a night with the boys on a Friday. You can't do this. With the minute someone tells you can't do something, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I want to do it more, and it kind of bugs me more. And especially if you drop a bag of dill pickle chips in front of me, I'm going to smash them. Now, if you tell me have a dill pickle chips at lunchtime with a Greek salad and 2 chicken souvlaki sticks, I'm cool with that. But if you start telling me to diet for a short period of time, you're probably going to bounce back, okay? So it doesn't have to be like this. We can stop the cycle and improve. But first, we need to break some bloody myths. And that's why we're here today, okay? So chances are if you're here, you're either tired, you want more energy, you hate the word gut, stomach, dad bod, and you want to shred some body fat, and it's okay because we're safe here. And I always tell men when I'm on the call that no matter what your goal is, no matter what you want to work on, the main thing that every guy wants is to drop their midsection. You want to be able to dominate the scale, not let it dominate you. I've met so many people in the past that when it comes to them, trying to lose weight, trying to gain weight, they're afraid to check the scale. They don't like checking the scale. They're afraid of knowing their weight. And all that's going to do for you is just put you in a back end state where you're not able to learn what's improving in your lifestyle. Are you getting better? Are you getting worse? Right? We also want to make sure that we're not confused, overwhelmed. You're sometimes you're overeducated. I guarantee you, Chris, Elliot, Pardaman, you guys have probably seen 4 to 5 different coaches this week telling you 4 to 5 different reasons why fasting is the best in the world. And then at the end of the day, you try fasting for a week. I tried it for a day on December 22nd. Way too many. That's right. I tried it on December 22nd as my misogi. In Japanese culture, a misogi challenge is what they do at the end of December, something physically, mentally, spiritually hard to get yourself prepared for the year. So I said, okay, I love to eat. I'm Greek. My wife's Italian. How about we cut out food for 24 hours? Crazy. I tried it out. I went nuts. I got it done because I'm a man of my word, but my percentage of body fat went up by 4% from 10% to 14%. I lost like 6 pounds. The next day I was binging, like it just threw me off, right? And you're probably looking to see if there's another way to break the cycle in terms of your sticking point. So whatever brought you here, I just want you to know that we got your back. We're going to help you out. We're going to break some myths really quickly in case some of you guys don't know me. It wasn't that I was always pumped up and I was loving training. I was called Skinny Mini. I went to Weston Collegiate in Toronto. And as you can see, I wrestled at like 127. I was rookie of the year. I don't know how I was rookie of the year. I did so many sports, but I was a skinny kid. I came from a dysfunctional family. My father left when I was born. My mom and my brother were all we had. It was rough because, again, trying to be the only male person in the family is going to be the older brother. So there's scraps and stuff. So to me, coaches were what changed my life. And over here, as you can see, I have that on the wall. Coaches changed my life because if it wasn't for my swimming coaches from 10 to 14 that got me like prepared for high school, if it wasn't for my high school coaches, if it wasn't for my wrestling coaches, if it wasn't for Mr. Williams, my wrestling coach who in grade 10 said, go to Arnold's Encyclopedia, page 149, and look at that chapter that talks about body types. And I checked out the chapter and I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? And then it dawned on me, I'm like, holy crap, man, this is crazy. And this is like, I'm 45 now. This is when I was in high school. This is over 20 years ago. And I learned about somatotyping. I learned about body typing. And I learned about the fact that there are different genetic types that have different metabolisms. So from that, I said, you know what? I stopped wrestling. I stopped track and field. I stopped swimming. I strictly went to football. I went into rugby and I went into bodybuilding. I cut out all the sports that took away from my cardiovascular need and I started seeing results. I competed for 9 years in drug-free bodybuilding. So all the trophies that I got above me in the back, they're from doing it without drugs. Yes, you're not going to look as big as some of the monsters on TV, but I'm going to live till 55, 75, 85, 95. I'm not going to have a fucking heart attack. I got myself certified in different certifications. I worked in Bally Total Fitness. For those of you on the call here that are older than, by the way, is anyone from Toronto here? Can I get a one or where you're from in the chat here? I just want to see if anyone from the US, North York, Toronto, anyone from the US here tonight? Oak Ridges, Toronto, perfect. We got a Toronto crowd. This feels good. Burlington, okay, I'm feeling good. I feel the love. Western Canada, beautiful. Last time I did a call, everybody was from the UK and from the US, so I felt like I was alone. So I used to work at those big box chains, Woodbridge, Bravo, and I left those companies at the top of my career because they wanted me to sell training and just get people in, wash them, chalk them, boom. Get them, wash them, chop them, boom. And I didn't feel for that. I wanted to give them a different approach based on somatotyping. So I left them and I started Pure Motivation Fitness Studio. And then I started Pure Body Type online training. Corporate health and wellness enthusiasts. I've worked with many different companies we currently work with right now. The man in the middle, that guy, if it wasn't for that guy right now, I don't even think I'd be here running a gym because he was my father figure growing up. He was the one that made me feel like I could have dreams and hopes. My wife and I, in case you don't know, are youth and fitness nutrition ambassadors. We work with different schools, sports camps. We created 2 charities, Pure Motivation Fitness Charity for building muscle for autism and type 1 diabetes. I feel I'm an adventurer, and I strongly suggest everyone on this call, I don't care where you're from, how old you are, you should do something every year that scares the shit out of you. 2015, I climbed Mount Rundle. It took me 10 hours to get to the top of that mountain with a buddy of mine. 40 pounds of food, water, we got it done. But most importantly, this is what I'm proud about, my family. I'm a family man first. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, and I feel that in order for you gentlemen who are fathers, and for maybe some of the guys in the call that like part of me that is going to become a father one day, the most important thing you need to do is take care of you first, then your wife, then your kids. And I know that may sound kind of weird, but I tell this to women as well. Take care of you first, then your husband, then your kids. Because if you're not feeling amazing, if you're not feeling strong, healthy, motivated, competent, you're not going to be able to take care of your family. Okay. Our fitness studios in Vaughan, 7,500 square feet. We've had it since 2006. And then ever since COVID, thank God for COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be talking to you guys tonight. And I wouldn't be training, over 25 guys that I'm working with across the world, because COVID put me in a box where my gym was shut down for 22 months. I was coming to work. I was going through depression. I got a tattoo on my forearm that says happiness. Happiness is a decision. And this tattoo right here, if you guys can see it, reminds me that whenever I'm in a shitty mood all day, whenever something happens, whenever something goes bad, it's my ability to think if I'm going to be happy or not. Okay. I've worked with a bunch of people, hundreds of people over my time, men and women. I know this call is just for men. What's up, Stevie? This call is just for men, but I've worked with men and women because I know there's some people on the call that, may want to work out with their wives. But when it comes down to fitness, and we're going to start the program now, when it comes down to transformations, the most important thing, the common theme of every man or woman is these areas of mastery. Now, some people on the call will say, you know what, I got the mindset component done. I'm ready to go, but I'm lazy. I don't want to work out. Some people are like, I'm ready to work out. I'm ready to follow a diet, but I'm just destructive and I'll break down myself. Or some people have all three, but they need the accountability part. And that's where they're like, you know what? I need someone to be there to call me out on the weekend if I don't do my shit. I want to have someone be there to tell me I'm doing something wrong, right? So we're going to start by breaking down some myths, okay? I'm Greek. I love Greek mythology, and I'm going to talk about the first biggest myth coming up. So the first myth is you got to cut out carbs or fast to lose belly fat. Who has heard this? Drop in the chat if you've heard it. Drop in the chat if you feel that it's true, or drop in the chat what your response is to this myth. And I'm gonna call it a myth, and I'm gonna drop it like it's hot today because we're gonna break it down. Heard it? Total BS. Love it. Yes and no from Parliament. Too many opinions. Excellent. BS. Love it. Right? So when it comes to fasting, heard it, don't agree. I want you guys to stop first and be like, yo, before I start talking about fasting, false. Cutting out carbs or fasting incorrectly will spike blood sugar and cause faster weight gain. But before you go into fasting, you got to understand about body types. Really quickly in a summary, 3 somatotypes, okay? Ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. We are all born a specific way. Now, whether or not you're exactly one and only one, you could be a mixture of ecto, meso, super, super tall. Think of The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Think of Arnold. They're 6'2", 6'3" guys, but they can gain muscle and they can lose it easily. The first one is the ectomorphic body type, my body type. Hard to gain weight. So if that guy cuts out carbs, he's done. He's losing muscle right away. He's going to go so far back, it's not going to happen to him. The mesomorphic individual is the guy that gains and loses weight. This is the guy that can go hardcore Friday, Saturday, Sunday, working out. He trims his carbs down. Monday, he's down 4 or 5 pounds, feels great. Tuesday, his buddies called him out for football Tuesday. Helps temporary. Yes, it does help. And I'm not taking away from the fasting effects of autophagy, cellular, regeneration. I love all that. But when guys get lazy and they want to fast to lose fat versus doing it properly, which is Start training, bro. Start learning what carbs are and eat them at specific times of the day. You make things difficult. And then the endomorphic body type is a slow metabolism, hard to lose weight. This body type, I will say, will benefit from fasting far more because they got such a slow metabolic rate and they don't do well with certain starchy carbs, and they typically have more body fat to drop. Now, again, if you're looking really quickly and you're looking at athletic types or body types, just jump out of here. Ectomorphic body type, Michael Phelps, Ivana Spanovic. Mesomorphic body types, okay? You can see the difference in these people. They're wider, they're thicker, they're more dense. They gain weight, they lose weight easily, okay? Endomorphic body types. But when we're talking about fasting, the most important part you got to recognize is blood sugar. So sugar doesn't turn into fat. If I gave Jim some Skittles right now and he ate them, it's not going to turn into fat, okay? As long as I could. What does it see here? Oh, kids, I love this. Hold on. So I stayed as long as I could. Great info so far. The kids are calling me. No worries. How do I get more information? Is there a link? Yes. I will drop a link in this call right now in case. One second, guys, because one of the guys has to go, and I get it. If you have kids, I have a link where if you want to connect for a call, I'll put that in here. So Mitchell, thanks for showing up, brother. I'll drop this here. But if you want to book a call, just click that link with me, bro. And I'm going to hit send. So if you click that link, Mitchell, I can connect with you anytime you want. It's got some questions asking about the background of what you're going through, what you need help with. Then you just pick a time and date and we'll connect. Okay, brother? Thanks so much. So let's go back here, guys. Let's talk about blood sugar. So fasting. Fasting right now, no worries. Fasting right now has been the fastest fad diet that guys do, where basically it's just skipping breakfast if you want to do it properly. Now, what happens is this, if you want to understand blood sugar, when your blood sugar is low, okay, if you haven't eaten for a few hours, you don't eat from 9 o'clock tonight till tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You're fasted, no problem. Then you want to go have lunch. And when you go have lunch, you smash a burger, you smash a potato, or you have a plate of pasta with some chicken breast, or you have a fruit salad with a protein shake. The fact that you had a lot of sugar in one shot spikes blood sugar. It's a natural response. Now, if you look at this diagram here, when your body spikes blood sugar, okay, Stevie put here borderline blood sugars. Yeah, we can change that, bro. No worries. You don't need medication. Screw the diabetes medication. I'm going to teach you this evening, very simple. My wife is a type 1 diabetic, and in terms of when it comes to blood sugar and insulin, she injects 3-4 times a day. I have so much experience with it, and I want to remind you guys that consuming fuel goes into your bloodstream. Your stomach breaks down the fuel, goes into your blood. The minute it goes into your bloodstream and your sugar's high, your brain contacts the pancreas, and your pancreas' job is to pick up glucose and get out. So picture these pens that I got right now are glucose. Pick up, pick up, pick up. It's going to pick up these pens and say, who wants it? So right now, if let's say, for example, let's say Steve's not working out right now. He's not training at all, but he's having a bagel for breakfast and a coffee from Tim's. He's in a rush. 3-4 hours later, he's going to smash a chicken salad. No carbs in the chicken salad. So high carbs for breakfast, low carbs for lunch. By the time the guy gets home for dinner, he's starving. And he's going to smash a big meal. The fact that your body picks up the excess glucose, it's going to store it in the 3 storage areas I got on the side of the screen. It's got muscle, liver, and fat. So thank God if you're training on a regular basis, when your blood sugar is high, your body gives that sugar to the muscle, and the body goes, okay, we're training, let's do something with it. Now, based on body type, if you're a mesomorphic guy, you're going to gain weight quickly. Or an endomorphic male, you're going to gain weight quickly. If you're an ectomorphic person, you're going to need that extra glucose to supply your body with energy because your metabolic rate's so bloody fast. But what happens to the guys who don't work out? I got 2 pens left. This is going to go to your liver and eventually get you a fatty liver, and this is going to go to fat. So once the body understands that process, because you fasted on the weekend and then you screwed up on Monday, and then you fasted on Thursday, Friday, and then you screwed up on the weekend. So you're constantly going up and down. So the body goes, don't worry, Steve, Gerald, Sanel, every time you guys eat, I'm going to start programming the body to just take that excess glucose and store it. Store it. So by not understanding how to balance your blood sugar, you're basically going to give yourself either a borderline diabetic case, you're going to give yourself high liver glucose storage, and you're going to gain fat. And again, when we're talking about fasting and cutting out carbs, it's ridiculous because fat loss comes down to basic thermogenics, energy balance. This is like what you learned in high school. If you eat this many calories and you burn this many calories, you maintain. If you eat a lot of calories and you don't work out enough, well, guess what? The body's got to store that extra fuel. It's going to store it as fat. But if you work out way more than you're consuming, and a coach like me is going to give you a breakfast, a snack, a lunch, a snack, and a dinner. I'll give you 5 meals if you want. You'll be able to lose body fat much easier and not have to worry about spiking blood sugar. And then it's a fat loss effect over long-term time, right? Because carbs are not the issue. Carbs we need for fuel. 3 types of carbs. You got your refined, your shitty carbs, the candies, the sweets, the packaged foods. You got your starchy carbs, which are great for you. But again, people don't know how to manipulate the amount and the time of day. Pasta, bread, rice, crackers, oatmeal, quinoa, beans. Those are all beautiful for you. They're starchy. They're going to hold more carbs. Then you have fibrous carbs, which are fruits and vegetables. Okay. Those are the 2 that you should primarily be smashing if you're trying to lose 20 plus pounds versus the breads, the pastas, because they're full of empty shit. They don't even have fiber in them. Okay. Any questions from anybody right now on this first topic of cutting out carbs? If so, just unmute your microphone, and I'm happy to drop it. But to me, it's a false myth. Okay, we got no questions. Moving along. So carbs are not the problem. The secret is knowing how many to have, what time of the day, and how to cheat properly. Okay. One of my clients that just signed up with their wife last week, Janice and Justin. Second day on the program, third day on the program, she sends me a bag of chips. And she goes, I want to have a bag of chips. I go, okay, perfect. When do you want to have it tomorrow? She goes, well, what do you mean when? I'm like, let's plan it out. So she threw it in at lunchtime with her Caesar salad chicken breast, and she had, I think it was a 1/4 cup of nuts on the side. So we balanced off her bag of chips. She called me back saying, this is crazy. I logged my bag of chips. Aren't you mad at me? I'm like, no, because I would rather you understand how to eat carbs from now till 99 or till you're in a box, buried, versus having this relationship of good, bad, okay? It's like your mother-in-law. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Okay, let's move on. So now, again, 2 examples of guys that struggle with this was Johnny. So Johnny was one of my biggest testimonials, 104 pounds, lost 25% body fat. He's supposed to be on this call tonight, but he's watching the, I think it's a basketball game in Florida tonight, or a baseball game. He's in Florida watching some kind of a game. But he came to me to lose weight. I think it was like 6 years ago. He started cutting out carbs too quickly. No worries, Brian. No problem. I'll send you the recording. So he tried to cut out carbs completely, lost weight, gained it back, came to me, wanted to do a program. And I said, from day one, you don't need to cut out carbs. You just got to slowly introduce them into your body. And now that the guy's 104 pounds more, he's eating like 1.5 amount of carbs than he was before. Another example. This is one of my, guys that's in a corporate world, owns his own business, Tony, 30 pounds down, felt stuck, stressed out, not trying to change. Although he was confident, the guy suffered from neck pain, shoulder pain, but he couldn't mentally commit to a schedule 4 to 5 times a week. So he felt guilty sometimes leaving his work, right? But I told him, once you get to understand how the body works, and he's an ectomorphic guy, you can see him sitting down there, that little panza that's around the waistline, boom, gone. Okay, so myth number 2. We got 3 myths to debunk here, baby. So you have to exercise for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. Who on this call can drop in the link if you exercise, how long you exercise per day? Drop a number in the link so I can see. Sometimes I train 3 hours a day, not because I want to train 3 hours a day. Chris got 30, 45 minutes, 20 minutes. What else? How about Jerry? How about Stevie? How about Sinel? How long do you guys work out for during the week? How about Elliot? Here we go. We got some guys. 3 35 minutes set. Okay. You don't train? No worries. You don't train? No worries, bro. I don't, no worries. So sometimes when I go to train in the morning at my club, I'll do an hour and 10 minutes in the morning. And now because I'm trying to get my daughter, who's 17, into mixed martial arts and getting her to do martial arts, sauna, yes, good job. So she said to me, you know, why do I got to do this? I said, well, you know what? If you do it, I'm going to go with you. And I'm going to show you that I'm going to join as well. So now on top of me training for an hour and a half or an hour, 10 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week, I'm going to do 2 hours of jujitsu and then rolling on the floor. I'm doing an hour of Thai boxing and then I'm doing wrestling at 45. I burnt almost 3,000 calories yesterday. BJJ, you got it. I burnt almost 3,000 calories yesterday just moving. So that means I got to consume above 3,600, 4,000 just to be in the positive. So one, to answer this question for you, we got to understand that it's false. Okay. You got me real close. Okay. Soon we get you in there, Jerry. So one, it's false because you want to recap body types and energy balance. Now, for specific bodies, there's skinny fat on the left-hand side. There's somewhat of a lean physique in the left to right. Then there's a muscular, the third body couple. Then there's the overfat couple on the side. Now, below that, you're going to see energy deficit, energy surplus. Okay. Now, when you're consuming energy at a high level, you will gain weight. However, based on body type, if you're an ectomorph and you're consuming high calories, you're lifting weights, you will bulk up and look amazing. But if you're a mesomorphic individual or endomorphic individual and you're overeating, chances are you're going to gain weight fast. Okay. So when it comes to exercise, you got to understand that it has to go based on body type as well. If you have more weight to lose, you will need a longer period of time to train. However, the workout doesn't have to be 2 hours a day. It can be broken down with some cross training and some active rest principles in between. Next, we're going to look at another slide. Not all exercises elicit the same effect. So you have a picture of a men's marathon runner. I think this guy's like the world's best long distance. Steve goes, doesn't got time. No worries. We're going to make time for you, baby. But look at the difference in bodies. One guy's doing anaerobic exercise, which is strength training, weightlifting, and you see him nice and big and built and thick. He's a sprinter, and one guy runs all kinds. So let's remove the fact that cardio doesn't work. Let's remove the fact that if you do lots of exercise, lots doesn't mean necessarily it's well. It means that you're going to obviously burn more calories, and then based on body type, if you're in the wrong category, if you're an ectomorph, you're going to shrink. Now remember that cardio versus weights are two different. There's adaptation that you got to pay attention to, metabolism, and joint health. So cardio is easy to do. You hop on it. When you adapt to cardio, it becomes more efficient, and that leads to cardio burnout. However, the longer you do cardio, your body adapts, and now you need an hour and a half of cardio to elicit the same response. Whereas weight training is a slow adaptation. You slowly gain the building consistency. Metabolic rate. Doing too much cardio will slow your metabolism down because there's not enough riding to shock the body. If I give Jim a workout and I give him deadlifts, bench press, and military press on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the next week I change the order of operation of the exercises, his body will adapt. But if he's doing the same workout, cardiovascularly wise, where his heart's not going to get that high level, after a period of time, his body's metabolism decreases while weight training increases. And then damage. People say, oh, you know what? Don't worry. I'm going to get a Peloton. You're on a bloody Peloton, so you're hunched over. You're spinning your legs. You're not doing no rowing movements, right? You're not doing no vertical pull, no horizontal push. You're not doing a hinge, no squat. So you're basically not focusing on training the body on all the muscle groups that it needs. So you're not going to do any buildup of strength for that. And then most importantly, if I look at this slide here, this is going to sum it up. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of the EPOC effect. Exercise post oxygen consumption. So look at the calorie after burn in 60 minutes of exercise, okay? So the green is calories burned during exercise, and then the orange is after. So we all know when we work out for an hour, okay, this is based on about an hour's workout, you're going to burn calories. But after the workout is when the real metabolic furnace kicks in. And this is why men need to really wake up and stop worrying about high intensity interval training. Yes, part of it. That's right. We need to stop thinking about cardio as the key. And you don't need to do a lot of weight training hours. If, for example, Elliot said, listen, I don't believe you. I'll say, no problem. Elliot, do an hour and 15 minutes on the treadmill, the rower, the bike every day. And Jim's going to do 3 60-minute Olympic lifting, powerlifting movements, compound exercises, bench, deadlift, bent over row, and military press. Jim would burn more calories, get stronger, get more bone density over Elliot. And why? This was my first thing. I was a runner. Yeah, man, there's a thing. There you go. Running is great. If you want to run a marathon, you got to run a marathon. You got to run to practice that. But if you want to be fit and drop body fat, you got to do functional training. So this slide here goes into talking about functional fitness. Okay, there's 7 primary movements. When I was working at Ballet Total Fitness and Premier and all those big clubs, the big phase in the 70s was Arnold, isolation exercises, right? Then it went into like 80s, 90s, fit boxing, Taibo, Bosu ball, core. Everybody was into core. The year 2000 came along, and that's where CrossFit slapped everybody in the face. And CrossFit said, no. We got to go back to basics. We got to do what the bodybuilders are doing, which is heavy lifts. We got to train functionally, which means the skeleton requires you to do a squat, a lunge, a push, a pull, a bend, a twist, and a gate. If you're not doing those movements in your workout program, your skeleton is going to miss something, right? No worries, Stevie. That's why I'm here. But your skeleton, and when I talk to people about training, I want to talk to them like their skeleton first, and then a muscle anatomy diagram. And then I want to talk to them like they're Sanel or Elliot or Jim, because your body's going to break down. Your hips are not going to have mobility. You fall when you're 50, you're fucked. You fall when you're 70, you're done, right? My grandmother was the first woman in Greece, in Rhodos, Greece. She fell at 99 and broke her hip. She was in the bed for 6 months with rods and pins. She made it, but they had to like fix one of her legs shorter than the other, and she's bedridden, right? So if you're not training with the primary movements, that's a problem for you. And a really quick, easy one for you guys right here. Boom. Here's an easy, proper, customized functional training workout. You can screenshot this if you like, but this is how we look at designing programs in the year 2024. We look at a warm-up, dynamic movement prep. Dynamic movement prep is not hop on the treadmill, warm up for 5 minutes, get your heart rate going, and then go work out. A dynamic movement prep is doing movements that are going to elicit joint elasticity. It's going to work. So if I wanted to train my legs, I would stand up and I'd swing my legs back and forth. If I want to get my chest going, I'm going to do big chest swings, because the brain needs to understand that a dynamic stretch from a static stretch are 2 different things. Then I'm going to hit A1, A2, superset. Upper body posterior, a back movement, lower body posterior, hamstrings. Then I go to B1, B2, lower body anterior, my quadriceps, so a lunge or a squat, upper body push, elevated push-up, or military press, something in the front. And then I go C1, C2, which is a core or a heavy carry. So for guys like me, for guys like that are ectomorphic, if I'm training with a guy who's 300 pounds and in between my rest, he's doing jumping jacks, I'm going to pick up the trap bar kettlebell or heavy kettlebells, and I'll walk up and down my turf as my active rest. And then you want some form of metabolic conditioning at the end. So that is how you do a functional workout. Okay, that is how you should be training now. And then the workouts would change every 4 weeks. Okay, that's the main key thing. So if you're not skinny, not fully ripped, but not fat. Okay, so perfect. So my question to you then would be this. When you were 15, Chris, from 15 to 25 or 30, could you eat whatever you wanted and never worried about gaining weight? Or was it always like, if I gained a bit, if I ate a bit in my 15, 20s, I would gain and lose? If you tell me
No,
that
I could totally eat whatever
pure
at that
ectomorph,
age.
right off the bat, bro, pure ectomorph.
Yeah.
Same thing as Jimmy. If like I'm up till 27, I could eat whatever I wanted, even shitty food. And then I started realizing, my metabolism is slowing down, right? But some guys, and again, you can tell by wrist, you can tell by your joints in your wrist. If the wrists are tiny, the ankles are tiny, you got long limbs. When you turn sideways, you don't look thick. You're not dense. That's an ectomorphic body type. Okay. But again, that's what you want to be focusing on, changing the workout. Okay. And then, so myth number 2, the secret is knowing what full body splits best for you, for your body type. Change your routine every 4 weeks, and then how to manipulate cardio into the workouts. After 45, breathing and 45, I'm breathing and gain weight. So now then that means guaranteed you're probably mesomorphic, or if your metabolism has been messed up from so many diets, then your metabolism is slower to the endomorphic side, but your body is mesomorphic in genetic type. A pure endomorph, typically, guys, is between 5 to 5'5" in terms of height, very thick wrists, very thick neck, very thick ankles. You can tell when they're really, really big. I have some examples over here. So, Stefano, okay? You can see his body. Look how thick the guy is. Thick body. 46 pounds of weight, 14% body fat, 11 months, okay? And again, he stopped doing body part splits. When I met this dude, he was doing chest and bi on one day, legs on one day, and I'm like, bro, you want to lose 40 pounds and you're doing a body part split that bodybuilders do? It's not going to work, okay? Jeffrey DiCantomaso, one of my rock stars who I literally trained during COVID in my club when the windows were all boarded up, okay? This guy was a party animal, single guy. He's a plumber. He had his own business, drinking, fatty liver. When he met me in 2005, when I was at Bally Total Fitness, he lost 65 pounds in 2005. He was single. Life was good. Got married, 2 kids, opened up a business. Boom, he ballooned back. And he gained all this weight back. And then he came back to me, dropped down 45 pounds. But this time, we manipulated his weight. He was more mature. And he was able now to travel when he goes away. And he doesn't have to work out 6 times a week, okay? These are real people. So lastly, this is the one that I really want to get to you guys tonight, because we're almost going to pow down from here. Can you build muscle after 40, okay? I love this picture. I can't remember this guy's name, but I follow him. And I just love the fact that he's white with the beard. I got my white beard going on here. He trains. Yes, you can. Part of me's right. But you got to pay attention to one thing. Sarcopenia is real. Sarcopenia is related to muscle loss, and it doesn't have to happen to you. And it doesn't happen because you're getting older, gentlemen. Sarcopenia is muscle atrophy. Muscle atrophy happens because of many reasons. Let's talk about them. 1, your ass is sitting down too much. You're not moving. We've become desk junkies. We sit and eat breakfast sitting down. We drive to work sitting down. We work sitting down. We eat lunch sitting down. We drive home sitting. We're always sitting down, damn it. Low testosterone is another effect of it. Low testosterone doesn't mean you're going to shrink, but having low testosterone means you don't got the energy like you used to 5 or 10 years ago, okay? So muscle atrophy is because we're not lifting weights. We're pretty much, if you want to sum it up, the human body needs to be lifting objects, pushing and pulling from now till we're 90. If not, we become decrepit. And again, when you have low testosterone, you have issues with liver, sexual organs, bone density, bone marrow. There's so many things that can happen. The problem with men after 40 is they're getting into metabolic syndrome. So men are increasing. I haven't had any energy without my coffee in the morning, Steve says. You got it. 15,000 steps a day. Good job for you, Sunel. So when it comes to coffee, I have 2 coffees a day, espresso. I got one at 11 and like one at 2. Why do I have it at 11 versus in the morning? Because if you give yourself coffee first thing in the morning, you're disrupting your body's natural mechanism of being able to get its natural endorphins going for your energy. So instead of giving it right away at 6 in the morning, take time, wait 2 to 3 hours so your body naturally can produce the adrenaline that you need, the hormones that you need to be active. If you come home and anytime you come home, your wife wants to give it to you right away. As soon as you come home, give it to you right away. After a while, you're like, when I come home, I'm going to get it anyway, so I don't want it, right? So you got to be careful with that. But if you look at percentage of body fat from age 30 to age 40, look at that big ass gap in men and women. Men are orange on the left-hand side here, and women are in the beige. Look at that increase in body fat percentage. That's a big, big, big number. And now metabolic syndrome it used to be 4 items on the right-hand side. So metabolic syndrome means you got abdominal obesity above 40 inches. So when your doctor says to you, oh, you're doing okay, your blood pressure's a little high, tell him he's an idiot and slap him in the face. Because as soon as your waist is above 40 inches, it's abdominal obesity. You have this building in your gut. We don't need it. What he should be saying to you is, let's do blood pressure. And if it's anything above 120 or your resting heart rate's above 70, it's high. So if you got high blood pressure, if you have high blood sugar, if you have high cholesterol, and if you have a belly, that's metabolic syndrome. That's going to affect you way more than doing cocaine and smoking cigarettes. And metabolic syndrome is the biggest killer in North America, above suicide, above drugs, above everything. And it's most preventable, right? So last part of this one here is side effects of low testosterone. So we all know the first one. Whenever I meet with guys, they call me from, for online coaching. They come to the club. They don't want to admit it, but they're like, I don't have energy. And I mean, well, what do you mean? Well, that kind of energy. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like in the gym? No, you know what I mean. Because your body's naturally breaking down the requirements, the hormones it needs. Increased body fat. So testosterone is related to BMR. Pot belly is a sign of low testosterone. There's study in Men's Health revealed in the study in New England research that a man's waistline is the single most predictor of low testosterone levels. Why? Because a high circumference in the midsection equals high cortisol, right? Someone put some in the chat here. I usually have first thing in the morning, blood pressure normal, blood sugar borderline, testosterone, doctor says normal, currently BMI 35. So yeah, nowadays, if you have 3 of the 4 items, it's called metabolic syndrome. Now you can change it right away, but remember, with men, big nipples equals high estrogen, and then big midsections equals high cortisol hormone and also high estrogen as well, because when your testosterone declines and you're not lifting weights and you're not fueling your body anabolically with lots of protein every 3-4 hours, heavy workouts, metabolic conditioning, when you're not doing that, your body's testosterone declines, but then the body goes, yo, estrogen, why don't we just shoot up? It's natural. That's why bodybuilders that do steroids for many years usually end up getting bitch tits or gynecomastia, or if they remove testosterone and drugs, they got to take additional drugs to bring up their test levels. Decreased muscle strength and muscle mass is exactly testosterone, low bone density, bitch tits, low confidence, mood, chances of infertility, low energy. So all of this stuff can be changed. All you need to do is start training and start eating for your body type. Simple as that, okay? And then lastly here, the problem of us is we're being too sedentary, we're inactive, we're not lifting heavy weights. That's what leads to sarcopenia. So how do you change that? Simple. Train 2 to 3 days a week. Lift weights. There's a guy in this picture here who's got gray hair. We want to be training till we're really old. I told my son, who's 11, and my daughter's 17, the day you can outbeat me in a sprint or in push-ups is the day I'm old. It'll never happen because I've given myself a certain identity of being a role model for my kids, being a role model for my coaches, for my community of clients, and making sure that when people see me, they see that I'm always trying to get better. So eat a minimum 0.8 to 1 gram of pound per body weight. So if that's confusing, and you're like, okay, you know what? Well, I weigh 220 pounds. Okay, I'm 220. So times 0.8, that's 176. You should be eating 176 grams of protein per day. Divide that by 4 meals. It's 44 grams a meal. No problem. If you're on the slender side and you're ectomorphic, you're trying to build muscle, we need 1 gram minimum. I go way more. I have 270 a day. So 270, I weigh 195. So 195 divided by 270. So I'm at 72% of my number. 270 divided by 6, easy. 45 grams a meal. I eat 6 times a day. I eat a breakfast, and then I eat a second meal, my snack. I eat a lunch, and then another snack. I eat a dinner, and then dinner too, right? And I teach clients how to eat 2 dinners every night and not feel worried about gaining weight. Okay, simple step is that. 10K steps is very important. Now, for someone that's an ectomorph, they can probably get away with not having to do that many steps because a high intensity workout and a high surplus of carbs can get them the goal they need. But if they're skinny fat and they're an ectomorphic person, but they're soft, there's guys that I meet that, they're barely 150, but they got no butt, they got no ass, no hamstring, they got little boobies here. So those guys need to remember that step count's important because step count affects metabolic rate. When I'm doing check-ins with clients and they're not losing weight, I look at steps. And if the steps are below 10K and they're working out 4 days a week, that's an indication that the carbs they're eating cannot be broken down. So 10K steps is a minimum. Perform full body workouts, full body compound exercises. Forget cables, forget all these fancy stuff. Stick with free weights, dumbbells, kettlebells. Change your routine every 4 weeks. Guys that are in my program, automatically, whether they like it or not, the program changes every 4 weeks. And that's a way to give you periodization. Now, CrossFit, you guys have heard of CrossFit gyms. CrossFit gyms are really, really successful because they were created for firefighters. They were created for people who are ex-military, police officers. And then they got big into the real world where they keep changing the workouts every day to shock the body, but then there's no periodization. So for example, if Jim bench presses for 4 weeks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, he does the same routine. After 2 or 3 weeks, he can add more weight and see that he's getting more reps. And the more reps he's getting, the stronger he's getting. If he's finishing the workout with less time, he's winning. If Chris does a workout, the same bloody workout for 4 weeks, but every second week he's adding 10 pounds of weight, and instead of taking a minute and a half rest, he's taking 45 seconds, he's improving. That is periodization, and we need to have that in workouts. You also got to ensure you're eating carbs 2-3 times a day. If you're not losing weight, it's because you're not eating carbs. Now, the timing of the carb is important. Again, based on genetic type. Should you have them in the morning? Depends. Are you working out or not? If you're not working out, why the hell are you having a bagel for breakfast? Why are you eating bread for breakfast? Why are you eating fruit? You're not working out. You got fat in your gut. Let your body use that gut to break it down. My workout is like a CrossFit 10-hour day. Yes, I remember Sanel telling me he does a lot of laborious work. So for guys like you that do laborious work, whether it's in the trades, whether it's in construction, whatever it is, you have to remember that at minimum, 1 to 2 days is needed of biomechanical training, which means if you're a roofer, electrician, you're always doing stuff above hand, your shoulders are going to be well, you're carrying shit, but you're never doing this on site. You're never doing this. You're never doing this. So your muscle capacity now is declining a little bit, although you're moving and you're a bricklayer and you're hammering shit all day, or you're a waiter running around, the muscle activation from eccentric to concentric is not being activated. So over time, that's going to lead to muscle imbalance, muscular dysfunction, where you have changes in posture, bad form. So we need to have that in there. And you got to track your body comp. You got to track your body comp. Guys in my program, they may love me, they may hate me, but when I tell them to track your body comp, tell me your stats, log your pictures, log your measurements, they can literally see week after week after week what's changing. And if there's no change in 4 weeks, then we know what to go into. We start diving into what was the food like, what's the training like. You know what? Okay, Sanel, after your workouts, I want you to do 3 minutes of skipping, followed by 2 minutes of jumping jacks, 3 sets after every workout. And on Sundays, I want you to wake up and I want you to do fasted morning spin bike. We inject your program with 2 new principles, you start getting results. If not, you got to go back to the drawing board versus I'm going to cut my carbs out and I'm going to start eating less. It's not going to work. Here's an example of a body comp when we use with clients, and in the in-body scanner here, this gives you, see if I can squeeze in here. Perfect. So we should be able to learn what our metabolic rate is. And a lot of basic machines can tell you this, but what you want to care about is your lean mass and your fat mass. As you can see here, this guy's 5'6", 37 years old, 49.9% body fat. That's high, man. That's almost half his fucking body being fat. Half his body. So if he's not going to change this now, and he's only 37, by the time the guy's 47, he's going to have a heart attack. So what do we do here? We look at fat mass and lean mass. We look at total body water. And then we look at, over the next few weeks, when he does his body comp again, if he gained 5 pounds, Elliot may say, shit, man, I just joined your program and I gained 5 pounds. I don't want to gain weight. Well, hold on, Elliot. Let's check your body comp. Where's your percentage of body fat at? My percentage dropped by 2. Let's check your lean mass. My lean mass went up by 4 pounds. My fat mass went up by 1. Okay, we're good. Versus the opposite way. I gained 4 pounds of fat, 1 pound of muscle. Okay. If you're not sleeping, that's dangerous. Not sleeping, one person just put 3 to 5 hours. Sleeping is where all the growth occurs. You know, your body's natural healing mechanisms happen while you're sleeping. So if you're not sleeping, that's a tough one. You can't really fix that on its own. Okay. And then lastly, just catching up here. False. The secret is knowing how to eat the proper amounts of macros your body needs. Lifting with the proper fit principles. For those of you guys who have never heard of what a fit principle is, it's frequency, intensity, type, and time. So for example, if we got somebody on the panel here, let's say Gerald says, you know what? I'm doing the same program and I'm bored. Okay, no problem. We can change the fit principles. Next month, it's going to be 4 times a week versus 3. Intensity, I want you to train at 80% intensity. So you're lifting 10% more of your weight. And the app that we have tracks all that for you. It actually tells you where your next step's going to be. Then it's going to tell you the type of workout. Are you doing weight training, cardiovascular, split set? Are you doing cross training, metabolic conditioning? And then time. How long is the workout? How long is your rest? How long are you coming down for the negatives? So you can always change those principles. But muscle grows at any age as long as you don't waste it. Here's an example of a sexy hunk of muscle right here. Jimmy's on the call here. So Jimmy started with us in October 28th, okay? Ectomorphic body type. I put him on my Instagram page, and it's nuts because Jimmy used to train with us at my club, got really busy, moved away, got his business going on. He's got 4, is it 4 kids or 5, Jim? Hold on, you're muted. 4 or 5? I gotta get you to unmute and then we can hear you. 4, man. 4.
Sorry, I said 4 kids, 2 sets of twins. 2 sets of twins.
Okay, so keep your microphone on. I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. So
Yeah,
from
sure.
192 to 203, this was this week, February 22nd. Okay, he went. Look at his body fat. It went from 13.2 to 14 and a half.
I'm 14 now. No, I'm 4. It's right now. It's 14%.
So how's that possible? Think about it. The guy's an ectomorph. How many calories are you currently eating?
2,700.
2,700 calories. Okay, so he's almost at 3,000. And how many days are you training?
I am doing 4. Well, the 3 heavy lift days, and then I've got the day 4 workout. So it's
For
at least
cardio.
4 days.
There you go. So 3 days of lifting, 1 day core cardio, you can see it there. Okay. And again, it's not the fact, the reason why I put him on here is because a lot of guys that want to gain weight think you got to get fat to gain weight. No, you can put on muscle in a slow period of time, but you got to be following a workout that works for your body type. And that's where I think the distinction changed between coaches in the industry, philosophies. And again, some people say to me, well, Dimitri, why, fitness and fat loss is all about calories, is it not? I'm like, yes. But if you're an endomorphic person or ectomorphic person, there's two different body types. And the different styles of training will affect them differently. A cup of rice is going to affect all body types differently. So if you want people to get results, they got to be training properly in the format that they're doing. How am I doing on time? Pretty good on time. Nice. So a few quick examples before I take some question and answers. Dave dropped down 30 pounds. He dropped 30 pounds of fat and he gained 24 pounds of muscle. So really it's a 6-pound difference he did. Okay. And he's able to do 14 pull-ups, bench press 225. He can run 5K. Before the guy thought he needed TRT. I hate it when guys say to me, should I do TRT? And I'm like, well, have you got a diagnosis of low testosterone? No, but I heard it works. Well, why don't you start doing compound lifts and start having a gram of protein per pound of body weight? Why don't you take some creatine at month 4 or 5, like we just told Jim to do? In what month are you in now, Jim? 3?
On the creatine, I'm just 1 month.
1 month.
Month.
And do you feel any
That's
difference
creatine,
from before? Do you feel any difference from before by taking it?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I'm stronger every week. So
For
it's
me, it's recovery time that
yeah,
I notice. When I take creatine, if I hit a heavy set, instead of me needing to wait a minute and a half, I can go back in a minute. I can do more volume.
yeah,
right?
yeah. I can say yeah. I definitely that's it in a workout. I definitely feel that for sure.
Sweet. Another guy, again, not much of a big guy. He lost 8 pounds. He gained 8 pounds of muscle. So he basically didn't move nothing. But he dropped 11% body fat, which is nuts. And if you look at him, here's a skinny fat example. Guy, he looks almost identical. He shaved his chest now because now he sees that he's got more look to him. And again, the guy can do 45 push-ups and 12 pull-ups in 60 seconds. Okay. He never knew about ectomorphic body type. He felt he had skinny fat before. He works in the trades. Okay. He was too tired, too weak. The guy's a young guy. He's actually saving $5.15 a month from eating on the program because he's not doing Uber Eats no more. And he's basically doing food prep every Wednesday and Sunday. Every Wednesday and Sunday, I got this little part in the app where you got to click on it to say you've done your food prep, right? So that's how that is. I'm going to break down a quick little questionnaire now at the end of this. One is I tell people, why is this not clicking? Imagine 3 to 6 months, I can put your picture here before and after. How would you feel? What would be different about your lifestyle if you can do so? How would it change the way you are with your family? How would it change the way you are at your work? How would it change the way you are professionally and even privately? And where I want to get to is the reason why I'm coaching men only and not men and women. If it's a man and his wife, no problem. But I'm glued to men because ever since COVID and ever since no worries, bro. I'll send you the recording for the ending part. But ever since COVID, it's been challenging hearing so many guys going through so many challenging stories. So in a nutshell, the program that we have, which gives success, is on the 3 pyramids. There's training and nutrition, which are very important, but accountability is the base. And without accountability, you can't get anything changed. Like if your diet's not working, you need someone to check it out. If your program's not working, you need someone to check it out. If you're not getting results, you're not motivated, you need someone to motivate you and talk to you and find out why. So we set up regular calls for that process. One, thank you for your time. If you guys have stuck around, I'm going to drop this PDF in the chat right now. Here's one of the small takeaways I want to give you guys. And another one is going to be on understanding what a body comp really is, because a lot of people don't understand. You guys can copy these links and you can take them with you. And then I'm going to go through asking for some Q&A. Copy. Let's take that one out. So any questions you guys have for me? Anybody wants to unmic and drop a question bomb on me? Copy, and then let's go paste. Boom. So that's 2 videos that you have here that'll explain to you about body comp, what it means. This is a body type ebook if you haven't had it. I'm going to drop this questionnaire in because I know that whenever I do these calls, sometimes people have questions. They're not really sure what to ask. They don't feel comfortable booking link. In case anyone is interested, like Mitchell who left, to learn more about how the program works, I'm happy to go through you on a one-on-one call. If I'm going to go through some of the most popular questions. So one of them is, why do I need to apply? One, when you apply for the program, you fill out a questionnaire. I get to go through and actually see if this is something you really want to do. I don't want to train every person in the world. I want to train guys that are really seriously and dedicated. And I also want to kind of learn more about you and where you're struggling with. Because if I know that you're honest about its mindset, then I know how to work and how to assist you. Some guys are like, listen, the diet's going to be the hardest part. I'll do whatever you say for the training. Mindset, I'm good to go, but the diet is going to be tough. So now I know where I'm going to work on every week with you to get you the help you need. Then, how many workouts do I get per week? We go 3 workouts, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. In between that, based on body type, I will give you additional core cardio, 20, 30-minute sessions, or some mobility training to help you get through the program. But typically, it's a 3-day-a-week program with some walking. What do I actually get with the program? So if I'm going to scroll down here and show you some deliverables, so you get customized meal tracking app. You get your daily step count, customized workouts that change every 4 weeks. You get workouts with rep set and time tracker. So you can actually, there's an AI feature which tells you in the next month how much you can actually lift. Customized meal plan. You get recipes. You get a monthly lifestyle tracker where you track the habits that we've set for you. You have a micronutrient. Someone asked a question. I've been trying to run 5K. I noticed I've been improving. I started 2K, now 3K, and almost 3.5K. Do you think weightlifting is necessary? If you don't start weight training, Fernando, you probably won't be able to break your plateau. And here's the thing about cardio. The more cardio you do, Fernando, the more your body's going to need a harder load to compete with that. No problem, Adriano. I got you. If you want to book a call, you're more than welcome to book a call. But if you do cardio, I would suggest you change your routine up where you're going to do 2 or 3 days of resistance training followed by 2 separate days of just running. Shock the body, shock your central nervous system. Let your body be afraid and panic and have to get stronger. If you increase 5 pounds of lean muscle mass when you're running, you got more muscle to push you through. So you have a before and after tracker. All this information's in it. And then most importantly, it's the accountability that you're going to be getting with myself. It's not my coaches, it's with me. So it's not like if you come on board, you're passed off to one of my guys. After a certain number, I think after like when I hit 40 clients that I'm going to be working with, I'm going to be having my team assist me, but I'll have a specific amount of people. And then if they want to work with me, they work with me. If not, they work with my team. Because we do have a team of trainers here that have been working with me for 17 years. How can you help me without actually being there? So this is a question that I commonly get. Well, I can go to a gym and hire a trainer for $80 an hour. They're going to work with me and train me. They may do that, but they're not going to give you 24/7 connection on questionnaires. If I go to my app right now and I want to ask questions, I can literally just go to my app and I see 2 people have logged in here and asked me questions, and I can literally answer them. You can literally go grocery shopping with your wife, take the phone, go past the aisle and say, yo, which cookies are best to get? And I'll tell you which cookies are best to get. But we give you the program, we give you the nutrition, we give you the accountability, and you check in with me. Other than that, you got to do the workouts. When you go to a gym and hire a trainer, they'll train with you that hour, but then when they're done, it's chop chop, right? What happens after 26 weeks? So 26 weeks is a 6-month phase that you go through. I tell people, all of the hard coaching that I got to do with you is in the first 6 months. After that, the program drops down to just a maintenance fee. It's very, very minimal. It's less than a gym membership. And that's just basically me giving you programs to follow for vacation, when you're traveling. You've lost 25 pounds? Great. Let's put 15 pounds of muscle on with you now. So we change it up. Does your program have any guarantees? Yes, 100%. If you're not losing any weight at all, and you're following my check-ins, you're logging the workouts, you're doing the meal plan, you're logging your food, I can literally go through and do a screen share and show you guys exactly if a client is logging or not logging, because it's trackable. And if they're tracking their food, then I'm able to see what's working, what's not working. I'm happy to extend your program and give you a free month of training. It's never happened to me so far. I've been doing this for so many years. And the reason why is because the proof is in the pudding. If I share my screen right now, and this will be the last 5 minutes of the program. I just want to give you guys an example. So if I click on here, so check this out. If I want to go to any client right now, and I go to, let's say I go to Jim. Let's see if Jim is on here. Sorry. Dan Wallace to make it easier, okay? I know Dan is always, boom. So Dan filled out his day so far. I click on here, his lunch, 31 grams of protein, 6 grams of carb, 24 grams of fat. I'm already panicking. Why is he not having carbs at lunch? Breakfast, 40 grams of carb, 18 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat. So his order of operation needs to be mixed around. He's having way too much carbs for breakfast versus for morning. And even though the time's at 6:19, he probably logged these late. Snack time, 93. He had a gin and tonic. How many gin and tonics did he have? So he even put the drink in there. So I can go back now and I can look at over the last few weeks, how much protein he had daily. Did he hit his calorie goal, right? Did he hit his protein goal? 223 grams of protein. Today he's at 50. So everything's trackable. You can see the results of where you're at, what information you need. And then someone says, how much is the program? How much does it cost? One, we need to find out based on the type of help you need, the type of coaching you required, and the length of time. So everyone's going to be a little bit different in terms of what they need. I always start off with 6 months. I need to go for a year because a year is long unless your goal is 50 plus pounds. But I tell people, for example, you go to a gym and you hire a coach. Like in my gym, coaching is $95 per session. So even at 90 times 8 sessions, $720. Okay. Plus you get a membership. Plus you got to buy nutrition. So the program is far cheaper than you hiring. It's below that. It's below 680. It's below that. Far cheaper than you hiring a coach at any gym. The one thing you're going to be is making sure that you're going to be getting is the communication and the rapport beyond that. Customer support, you get a questionnaire every Sunday if you get stuck. You have a bi-weekly videos. You got an additional Zoom chat. So there's all kinds of ways to help out. But again, most importantly, what I want to make sure today is you guys got value. I hope you guys got some value. 2, I want to make sure that you guys leave here knowing that you totally can build muscle, burn body fat, and it doesn't matter where you are in your realm of things. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 50, 60 years old, because the body only understands 1, what type of stimulus are you giving it? Number 2, it understands what type of food are you eating? And number 3, it understands what type of process are you putting it in? And when you give it the stimulus and that shock, it has to change. If I give you high carbs and high sugar, your blood sugar spikes, like we had in that previous image, your body stores fat. It's never going to change. Whether you're type 1 diabetic, type 2 diabetic, this is never going to change. And I'm going to send you guys these slides as well in case you guys want to have them. It's never going to change. Any questions anybody has before we head out for the evening? Any questions? Fire them off, guys.
Well, I just want to jump in. Dimitri, I'm just going to say that, I'm on the program. I've been on the program, like you said, since October. And just for the guys, if you're considering it, it's the best thing I've been working out for a long time. And in 30 years of working out, this is the most gains I've ever had. So it's and it's the simplest I've ever done. Like I'm actually working out less than I thought I needed to. But it's been fantastic. So I'm looking forward to the next phase.
Yeah, wait till you get to the German volume training. It's going to be nasty. But what's nice, guys, is and and I wanted Jim to be on this call because I had a picture of him on it. But I want you to see that even at the hardest, like to gain muscle, you guys may think, oh, that's eat, just gonna eat a lot of food. To gain muscle actually is almost 2 times harder than burning body fat because body fat is a caloric deficit with high exercise and clean eating. To gain muscle, you got to go calorie surplus, which means you got to be eating 2,000, 3,000, almost sometimes 4,000 calories. If you exercise a lot, you got to eat more. You got to constantly be lifting heavy weight, and you got to constantly be resting. And then every week, it's just a grind of lifting. So if this guy can gain
It's a grind.
in 4 months,
yeah.
I don't
And
see
I'm
why.
49. I'm
Nice.
not 25 years old. I'm 49. So yeah. I'm
Nice.
still young, but my kids say I'm old, but I can do more push-ups than them. So screw them.
Damn right. Damn right you can. So guys, if you guys don't have any other questions, I know you guys have family to be with. One, thank you for being on the call with me. I put that booking link in there in case you have questions. If you want to book a call, it's complimentary. There's no fee for it. I don't care about it. If I can wow you guys with information, you guys can leave here thinking, you know what? It was a good call. It was informative. It was not pushy. Obviously, the guy's a coach and he wants to help people get results. If you refer anybody to me and they get any coaching, I'll give you a month of complimentary coaching as well. But other than that, I want to wish you guys an amazing evening. I want to remind you guys that change can happen in an instant. You got to flip the switch in your mind. And when you have a coach that's dedicated to be behind you, sky's the limit, man. You can get results really, really easy. And on, let's say 6 months from now, when I do my next call, I'm hoping to have Jim up maybe 15, 16 pounds of weight total. So have a great evening, guys. Peace out. Much love. And if you want to book a call, the link's over there. Take care and have a great night. All right, guys. Take care. Peace out.